You're watching EAC News. Thanks for joining us. NATO has no plans to deploy combat troops to non-NATO member Ukraine in the event of a Russian invasion, NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg has announced on Sunday, January 30th.
NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg has emphasized the limits of NATO's partnership with Ukraine, stating that the security guarantees that an attack on one ally will trigger a response from the whole alliance does not apply to Ukraine, since it is not a NATO ally. Britain's Foreign Secretary Liz Truss also told the BBC's Sunday morning show that it is very unlikely British soldiers would be sent to fight alongside Ukrainian troops in the event of a Russian invasion. Though it was highly likely Russia was looking to invade Ukraine.
We have no plans to deploy NATO combat troops to Ukraine. NATO allies have trainers there. We help them from NATO with building capacity, modernizing their defenses, including their cyber defenses. NATO allies also provide equipment, defensive weapons, like the UK has now provided, for instance, anti-tank weapons. So we do a lot of stuff to help Ukraine strengthen its capability to defend itself. But again, Ukraine is not a NATO ally, so the 100% security guarantees that an attack on one ally will trigger a response from the whole alliance, that applies for NATO allies, not for a close and highly valued partner.
But just to be very clear, you say
we are concerned about the energy situation in Europe because it demonstrates the vulnerability of being too dependent on one supplier of natural gas, and that's the reason why NATO allies agree that we need to work and focus on diversification of supplies. And we also took very carefully note of what the International Energy Agency said recently, that Russia has manipulated the European gas market by holding back supplies.
We think it's highly likely that he is looking to invade Ukraine. That is why we're doing all we can through deterrence and diplomacy to urge him to desist. We don't, it's very unlikely, and the Defence Secretary is being clear about that. But what we are doing is we're training up Ukrainian soldiers.